Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Athletics. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the thumb on the left is our ace, Brian Wu. And on the right, one of the best players in the MLB, Brent Rooker. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Must-win game for Seattle. Got to get this done. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, DHing today for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're looking for home run number 42 tonight. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, playing second base for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, catching today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting eighth, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound for the Mariners, an 8-5 record, an ERA of 2.91, our all-star, Brian Wu. Now let's get into the starting lineups here for the home Athletics. Leading off for the Athletics in center field, Lawrence Butler. Batting second, playing first base, Nick Kurtz. Batting third, DHing for the Athletics, Brent Rooker. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Athletics, Shea Langeliers. Batting fifth, playing left field, Tyler Soderstrom. Batting sixth, playing third base, Miguel Andujar. Batting seventh and playing right field, Carlos Cortez. Batting eighth, playing second base, Max Schumann. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Daryl Hernandez. And on the mound for the Athletics with a 9-7 record, an ERA of 4.13, it is Jeffrey Springs. And we're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, obviously 50 at the halfway point, and we'll be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. And once we hit 100 likes, we'll shoot for 125. If we hit 125, then we'll be shooting for 150. Right, it's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, baby. Let's get that dub tonight. TFTV, he's on it. All day in the building. What's good? I did. And again, you know, we made a minor move on getting a lefty from the pen. Obviously, we have until tomorrow until the deadline is up. And hopefully we'll end up making the call and getting that Eugenio Suarez trade done. But we definitely know that there has been some bidders that have backed out after he got hit on the hand a few days ago. It wasn't season ending or anything serious, but we will see how it goes. Mike in the building. What's good? And Megan getting us started off on a good foot. $20 holla. Seattle extended GM contract till 2031. I bet. I see you. Appreciate you very, very much, Schneider. And hopefully that will be something that will bring you guys some wins and obviously some stability moving forward. Some people will like the move. Some people will question it. But again, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Appreciate you. We're at 20. We got 80 to go on the Dono train. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for a few photos when I can squeeze those in. And I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. Cody in the building. What's good? Let's go M's, baby. Cool kid in the building. What's good? I mean, and obviously it's not the biggest name, as far as a signing in Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates, but does give us another lefty. And, they don't have to use him all the time. It could be, just lefty on righties or lefty on lefty, depending on if that's what they want to do. So we'll see where it goes. But at least it gives us another lefty besides Gabe Spire, which could be good for us. First pitch from Springs to Crawford, low and away, 1-0 count. And we definitely need JP to get on base either at his first step bat or second. It really does set the tone. And again, we want to be able to have some tone setters early. We want to make sure we're getting to 1 to 3 runs within the first 4 or 5 innings. And then hopefully the magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And we're going to need a couple home runs today, preferably somewhere in that 2 to 4 range. But you just don't really know what you're going to get out of the Athletics and Mariners, and that's what kind of makes it exciting, but a little bit of a nail-biter as well. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to JP Crawford. Let's go, JP. Don't hesitate to drop a bunt down once in a while as well. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Crawford. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. And again, we are going to be getting settled in back at home. They're at T-Mobile tomorrow with a 4-game set against the Rangers. 1-2 pitch, pitch is high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Crawford. I got you. No problemo. 2-2 pitch, fouled off low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the first inning. It is a global broadcast on MLB Network. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get those numbers early and often. And again, a must-win game. We got our ace Brian Wu on the mound. Our starting pitching has been roughed up lately. Every once in a while we'll have a solid start like we did out of Luis Castillo, but it's been a little shaky for Wu, Gilbert, and Kirby lately. But I know that they can turn it around. 2-2, and Crawford grounds out to third, throw to first, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, a guy that we need to get hot again, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, baby. And again, we're going to need singles, doubles, but we're really looking for home runs, not only from Julio Rodriguez, but also big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And even a guy like Randy Arozarena, can participate in the home runs in that category. We definitely need a few guys to step up here tonight. First pitch from Springs to Julio, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. And that might have been the first time I've seen Julio swing at the first pitch in quite a few days. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Julio. And hopefully the umping will be better today than it has been in the last 2 games. Obviously not as bad maybe as the Yankee series in the Bronx. But in those first 2 games, it really wasn't officiated up to our standard. And I feel MLB fans' standard, but, it is what it is. If an ump is going to be bad on both ends. Don't favor a team. But, easier said than done. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Julio Rodriguez. 1-2 pitch, low and away with the changeup, 80 miles an hour by Springs. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And hopefully we can capitalize with a run or 2 within the first couple innings to really open the game up. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is high and outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. And again, think about in the beginning of the season, there's no way Julio would even get to the 5th pitch at the beginning of the year. You know, he was swinging at the first 2 pitches and typically getting some type of contact, either popping up or grounding out, or possibly getting into an 0-2 count and then striking out. So it's just kind of nice to be able to see Julio be a little bit more patient now. Here we go. 3-2 pitch. Back. See ya! Julio Rodriguez goes yard. And like I said, sometimes you just have to plant the seed that he's going to go yard. And I told you Julio would go yard. We want Cal Raleigh to go yard as well. 1-0 Mariners. Let's fucking go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And again, that's exactly what we needed. We didn't get that pop early on yesterday. And again, this is a must-win game, and Julio crushed the hell out of that baseball, baby. See ya. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Jeffrey Springs. Hopefully he feels rattled after that big Julio home run. 1-0 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go. And again, you know, I'm wearing the Julio jersey today. You know, I was thinking about wearing Cal, you know, or a Ken Griffey Jr. throwback, but something told me, hey, wear the Julio. Good things are going to happen today. And just like that, Julio Rodriguez homers in the first. Popped up, and that is out number 2 for big dumper Cal Raleigh. And maybe we'll be able to get Cal the homer when we have a right-handed pitcher and a little bit later in the game. Obviously, the first couple at-bats are going to be right-handed with a left-handed pitcher. Not to say that he can't hit from the right-hand side. He can, but I feel like today feels like if he is going to hit one, it'll be from the left side. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, and crushes that one into right field, and a nice single there by Randy Arozarena. Here we go. And again, it's all about feeding off the momentum off others that are in the lineup. And again, nice to be able to see, you know, even though JP and Cal weren't able to, you know, get on, you know, at least you got that solo dinger by Julio Rodriguez. You know, definitely had to represent today. And then nice job by Randy Arozarena. It wouldn't surprise me if Randy homers today either. He definitely is due. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Next up is Josh Naylor, who's been very good for us. He's gotten a hit in every single game that he's played. And, you know, we need to make sure that that continues, except for possibly last night. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. And Naylor didn't get a hit yesterday because I remember he was 0 for 3, but I was trying to remember if he got a late single in the matchup, but we got destroyed yesterday, so that makes sense. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. And I do believe that Josh will get a hit today. I don't know if he'll be able to get 2, you know, but I do think he'll be able to get at least 1. And I'm not sure if it'll be a home run, but, you know, he definitely is good for singles all day. And then every once in a while, you may see him get a double or a home run. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 1-0 Mariner lead with a Julio Rodriguez solo dinger to start it off, baby. And we're, you know, the countdown is on for the trade deadline that ends tomorrow. So hopefully they can get the Eugenio Suarez deal done. And if not, you know, hopefully we get at least like Ryan O'Hearn or another good player. I definitely want at least 1 more positional player and at least a minimum of 1 more bullpen piece. You know, we're going to need that. 1-2 pitch, low and away with the 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first with 2 outs. Top of the first inning. Global broadcast on MLB Network and Julio Rodriguez getting it started. Let's go. Getting homers in the first inning is what it's about, but hopefully we get a few more. When you don't homer, you don't win. And again, the Mariners, are at that 48 to 50% range, or their total runs come from home runs, almost half. So got to get it done. And down goes Naylor for out number 3. And let's go to the bottom of the first inning as Naylor strikes out swinging. Let's see who's up next here for Bryan Woo. 8-5 record with an ERA of 2.91. Leading off, Lawrence Butler in center field, batting second, first baseman Nick Kurtz, and batting third, DHing Brent Rooker. See if we get a few photos here for Megan plugged in. But Schneider getting the extension, so we'll go ahead and throw him up for Megan, big Hawk fan. And we're getting closer and closer to the NFL season. The Hall of Fame game, believe it or not, is tomorrow. So that one kind of crept up on us, but a lot of us, are still focused on the MLB and whatnot. But again, love college football, love the NFL. And it's just crazy to think that the Hall of Fame game is tomorrow. So obviously we're going to be getting into preseason games shortly after that. And then with a blink of an eye, before you know it, we'll be in the regular season. So that's pretty fucking exciting. If I can squeeze one more in here for you. First pitch in play from Butler, flies out to left, 1 away. Appreciate you. We'll get you a few more photos as we go through the broadcast. And Butler tries to take advantage of that first pitch strike, but flies out to left, 1 away. Nice start for Bryan Woo. Let's go, baby. Next up is first baseman Nick Kurtz. First pitch from Woo to Kurtz. Takes the strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. And if we can just get Julio to be able to figure it out at the beginning of the year, instead of only, being good for maybe 1 month before the All-Star break, if he can, start, finding his rhythm and being a little bit more patient in the box, and at some point we may see Julio have like almost a full season, excluding maybe a month or a month and a half. But again, he hits over 300 after the All-Star break every single year in his career, and I believe 2025 will be no different. It's just about getting him up to speed sooner. Obviously, it took him until May to really get going. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss by Kurtz, and Bryan Woo is dealing. Let's go, baby. Nice job by Bryan Woo, our ace. First punch out of the day. Way to bring that electricity. And we're going to be shooting for 7 to 10 Ks for Bryan Woo. And he's one of the only pitchers in MLB that has pitched into the 6th inning or beyond in every start, which is definitely something special. Next up is DH stud Brent Rooker. Single-handedly won the game for the Athletics yesterday with that 3-run blast. I don't expect him to do that today, and we got to limit the damage. First pitch from Rooker. From Woo, high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Rooker. And I honestly think if Julio would have went to the All-Star festivities, even though he wasn't going to participate in the Home Run Derby, I don't think we would see the same Julio that we are seeing now. Taking that, mini break, spending it with family and friends and, working on some mechanics and just getting your mind and your body right. And sometimes, taking a few days off, can really do that. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Woo to Rooker. And, he is a 300 hitter after the All-Star break, so I think it would have eventually happened, even if he would have went to the All-Star game. But I think it would have taken, a couple weeks, maybe even closer to a month. So I think he made the right decision. And if we're really being honest, his offensive stats maybe not really that worthy. 2-1 pitch, back. Oh my, Brett Rooker, damn you. He does it again. Brett Rooker goes yard, and he's trying to keep the team and matching the energy of Julio Rodriguez early, and we have a 1-1 game. Wow. And you're not going to see Woo, give up too many home runs, but if he were to give up one, obviously Brett Rooker is an all-star. He's one of the best DHs in the league, not named Shohei Ohtani, and he does go yard often. I mean, he had his breakout year last year, and, again, hopefully that'll be the only home run we see out of Rooker here today. And on the flip side, at least it was only a solo dinger, not a 3-run blast. So I can live with that. This Athletic team is probably the only team in the AL West that I can kind of actually root for. First pitch to Shea Langoliers, and he singles to right. They're feeding off a little bit of momentum here on Brian Woo. I mean, you're never going to see me root for the Astros for a number of reasons, not just the cheating. Rangers, you're never going to see me root for them either. Angels, I feel like they're our number 2 rival to the Stros. Never will root for them. But with this Athletic team, they're underdogs, kind of like us. And again, if there was one team in the division that I would like to see success, just not against us, it would be the A's. And maybe one day we'll get the, AL West crown, and maybe the Athletics one day, will be a wild card team. I think that would be pretty cool. First pitch from Woo to Soderstrom, takes a strike swinging low at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and in the zone, should have been called strike but called ball. I have no idea why it's in the square and you're still not getting the call. Man, these umps, this is the first really bad call so far in the first inning, but we'll have to watch to see if we have multiple bad calls every inning like we did yesterday. 1 ball and 1 strike, where it should be no balls and 2 strikes. And you got to think, the mentality when you're in 0-2 count rather than 1-1 is completely different. One pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. And Langoliers steals second, safe. But we'll see where it goes. I mean, we still need another bullpen piece or 2, and definitely a little bit more depth at third or in right field. Luke Raley went on the IL, so finally I get my guy Tyler Locklear to come up from AAA. So you may see Tyler Locklear at some point, either later today or against the Rangers. It's a minor injury for Raley, and again, he was already going to be splitting time with Dominic Canzone and a few others, and Dylan Moore in right field or DHing. So we hope that Luke gets healthy. But again, I am excited for Tyler Locklear. He kind of reminds me of a poor man's Ty France, and he can get the job done. And the Athletics just taking advantage of Woo here early. Come on now. And that's a big hit there by Tyler Soderstrom. And a big RBI double brings in Shea Langoliers. And just like that, 2-1 Athletics. Come on, Brian. And again, like I mentioned, our starting pitching has had some issues, lately. And again, it's like even Brian Woo, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, they might have been good for the first few innings and then had a collapse, or just getting kind of roughed up early. And again, Luis Castillo might have been the only guy that, hasn't got the business handed to him lately, out of the starting 5. But man, not a good sight here early. We need Woo to be good for us to win. We can't have Woo giving up a shitload of runs, considering our bullpen has been kind of shaky lately. Can't have the starters and the bullpen being shaky and the hitting. Can't win that way. 2-1 pitch, fouls that one off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miguel Andujar. Come on, Woo. And and again, like I mentioned, a few days ago, I was thinking about kind of staying away from putting pitchers on the thumbs because it just feels like every time lately I put Wu or Gilbert or Kirby, we've lost. And I decided to say fuck it and just put Wu on there, with Rooker, and hopefully, those will be the only 2 runs he gives up. But we can only have him give up 3 or less. And it does feel like the bats are going to be better today. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, maybe the magic number to compete or win. But we're already digging ourselves a hole here early in the bottom of the first inning with Brian Wu. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Andujar. 3-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss, and down goes Andujar on strikes. And finally, Wu getting a couple punch outs, but not after, giving up a big home run to Brent Rooker, and then a big RBI double by Tyler Soderstrom to bring in Shea Langoliers, who's very underrated as a catcher. And again, this team, they have good players. They just need a better manager, a few other role players added into the good players they already have, and a few other guys in the pen. And then maybe one day, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe we'll see Seattle and the A's at the top of the division. But again, they need to have a little bit more consistency. But they always play the Mariners tough, just like the Angels. And like I was mentioning, just because we're playing, 2 of the bottom feeders, not necessarily the Astros or the Rangers right now, doesn't mean that the games are going to be easier. If anything, the games are going to be harder when we play the Angels and the Athletics, because sometimes we're going to play down to the competition, based off their record or just the overall vibe. And when we play the Rangers and the Astros, we typically play up to the competition regardless of record. But most of the time, those 2 teams, Astros and Rangers, have an above 500 record. Angels and Athletics typically do not. And if you had one team that had an above 500 record, typically that would be maybe the Angels with a couple games, not a lot over 500. But again, Wu needs to dial it in, and hopefully those will be the only plays that happen. But also, you have to look at who we're going against. Brett Rooker is an all-star. He's a great player. Julio Rodriguez did the same thing against, obviously, Springs, and hopefully we can get a few more runs and we can tie this game up here in the top of the second. See if I can squeeze in a few more photos here for Megan and for her dono. Hall of Fame game is tomorrow. And I'll definitely be watching that on the side, but that will be starting off earlier in the afternoon. And obviously we'll be doing the Mariners and Rangers tomorrow. Boz and Steve Largent. First pitch from Jeffrey Springs to Jorge Polanco, and that is an automatic ball pitch timer violation, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour by Jeffrey Springs. 2 balls and no strikes to Jorge Polanco. 2-0 pitch, fouls that one off, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Springs to Polo. Two-one pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away, tries to paint that corner and gets the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Jorge Polanco. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second inning, 2-1 Athletic lead on a global broadcast on MLB Network. And we're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. Three-two pitch. Pitch is fouled off, high and away. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're at the top of the second with a 2-1 lead. Julio Rodriguez with a solo dinger to left, 413 feet, 1-0 Mariners. Then Rooker said, hey, I'm going to join the party. I'm going to homer to center, 416 feet, 1-1. And then later in that inning, Soderstrom doubled to left after Langoliers got a single. And now we're sitting at a 2-1 lead, which is a little shocking, since Woo has been so good for us this year. But just as of late, after the All-Star break, some of these guys have been a little shaky. 3-2 pitch, and Polo flies out to center all the way back to the warning track, 1 away. Good sign there from Polo, hitting it deep, and then maybe later in the matchup we'll see him go yard. Next up, catcher in the 7-hole, Mitch Garver. First pitch from Jeffrey Springs. Takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Garver. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Garver. 1-1 pitch, fouls that one off high and away with the changeup, 78 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Athletics up 2-1 here early in the second, and hopefully we'll be able to tie it up 2-2 here in the top of the second. One-two pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball missing the strike zone by a few inches. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off high and away. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour by Springs. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Garver batting .225 with only 6 home runs this season. And again, Harry Ford would be an upgrade, but more than likely, if we end up getting Gino, tomorrow before the deadline, we'll have to give Harry Ford up, as well as a few other pieces on top of that. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Garv on strikes, 2 away. Nice job by Jeffrey Springs, wheeling and dealing. I see you, bringing that electricity for the Athletics. Next up is Dominic Canzone, another guy that's overdue for a home run like Randy Arozarena and Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Springs to Canzone. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Sarah in the building, how are you? Let's go M's, baby. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Dom. One-two pitch, high and inside with a four-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Two-two pitch, and down goes Dominic Canzone for out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Athletics. Next up for the A's in the 7-hole, right fielder Carlos Cortez. Batting second in the 8-hole, playing second base, Max Schumann. And batting third, shortstop in the 9-hole, Daryl Hernandez. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And we're shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. 31, 19 more to get to the halfway point. So we have at least 60 or 70 or 80 people in the room that haven't hit that like button yet. Do your boy a solid. It'll definitely help us with our numbers, hitting the algorithm for YouTube for anyone looking for the Mariners, the Athletics, or just an MLB game. If I can squeeze in a few more photos for Megan for her dono. First pitch from Brian Wu to Carlos Cortez, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. And hopefully Brian will settle in and not give up any more runs, or maybe one more at the very most. But we need to keep it close if we want to be able to win this series. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away, fouls that one off again. 95 miles an hour with the four-seam fastball by Brian Wu. No balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 Athletic lead with 0 outs here on MLB Network. 0-2 pitch, fouls that one off with the slider to Carlos Cortez. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Cortez. Daniel in the building, what's good? Sarah with a $5, appreciate you. We're at 25 now, 75 to go. Stacks, racks with the little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what cardinal you would like, and I got you. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. And it'll be nice to be able to, have the games back at T-Mobile. And hopefully we can play the Rangers well. I mean, I don't think anyone expects us to sweep them, but if we can win 3 out of 4, that would be fantastic, considering what's happened, against the Astros, the Angels, and obviously the A's right now. Next up is Max Schumann. First pitch from Wu to Schumann, takes a strike swinging low and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Schumann. Ryan McMahon, I got you. I mean, it doesn't have really the same kind of impact as like a Gino, but they wanted to make sure that after the Judge injury, that they had at least somebody that they could have for sure, because we don't even really know if the Gino deal is going to happen. There's speculation. But just because there's speculation doesn't mean that they're going to move, Gino 100%. So 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Wu on the mound, Schumann in the box. Interesting to see that the Guardians possibly will be moving Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan would be a great player to add on any team. 0-2 pitch, big swing and miss by Schumann. Nice punch out there by Brian Wu. There we go, baby. 2 away. Nice job. Woo. Bring that electricity, baby. Settle in. Next up for Brian Wu. In the 9-hole, shortstop, Daryl Hernandez. Yeah, pretty wild that the Hall of Fame game is tomorrow and the deadline is tomorrow. You know, we're definitely getting closer to college football and closer to the NFL, regular season. It'll be here before you know it. First pitch, and Hernandez grounds out to the shortstop, JP, throw to first, and that is out number 3. End of the second inning, 2-1 Athletics. That picture did not format correctly. Let me get a different one. There we go. If I can get a better one than that one. That one is kind of cropped a little bit. It looks a little odd based off the photo size. Let's see if we can get a regular one that is zoomed in that looks a little bit better. There you go. There's a good Ryan McMahon. Appreciate you, Sarah. Appreciate you, Megan. All right, next up for Springs is Ben Williamson. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Athletics. 1-0 pitch, fouled it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Jeffrey Springs to Ben Williamson. And Springs, 9-7 record with an ERA of 4.13. So he's been able to find himself a little bit better rhythm than maybe in previous years. 1-1 pitch from Springs to Williamson. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Big Ben. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Big Ben. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a punch out there for Ben Williamson. Nice job by Jeffrey Springs, wheeling and dealing. Down goes B-Dubs, 1 away. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Oh, that would be very cool. Definitely have to take photos of that if you're able to, able to get in there. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, high and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Springs to Crawford. And even though JP may not be, the best player on the team. He may not even be one of the top 3 or 4 guys. He's kind of like in the middle. But JP is so instrumental on the vibe and how things go with the team. And obviously when we had Victor Robles, a better leadoff hitter than JP, and then he got hurt, there was a time where, JP had a transitional period at times where he was a little off, but then he's also, been able to get, 15, 16 game hit streak. So again, we just need to find that balance, from either being extremely hot or extremely not. Hopefully there's like a little bit of a borderline area that he can get into. 2-1 pitch, and JP flies out deep to left all the way to the warning track, 2 away. So we've got a couple guys, JP and Polo, hit him deep, but just not out of the park. But maybe that is a sign of things to come. Next up for the Seattle Mariners, who hit a solo dinger in the first, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch, low and out the knees with the sweeper. 75 miles an hour by Springs, 1-0 count. Let's go, Julio. I'm rocking the jersey today. You got us 1 home run, but we may need another from you. But we can't have one of these games where Julio is, playing like an all-star 4 for 5 or 3 for 5 or 3 for 4, and then nobody else does anything. 1-0 pitch, and Julio grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-1, A's lead. Seeing if I can find another photo that's crispy enough, but most of them are not very good. I'm looking for the crispy photos, the HD 4K, the swaggy photos. This one looks like it might be the best one out of them all. And then this one is like the same photo, I think, but just zoomed out a little bit. Obviously, zoomed in looks a little bit better. So, but he should, help that team out. And obviously, going from the Rockies, a bottom feeder, to the Yankees, obviously is going to be a good upgrade for him. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-1 A's. Let's see who's up next here for the Athletics. Next up, 0 for 1, center fielder Lawrence Butler. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman Nick Kurtz. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a solo dinger, Brent Rooker. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Judah in the building. What's good? First pitch from Wu to Butler. Takes the strike swinging high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off high and away from Wu. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Butler. 0-2 pitch. High and away with the 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Butler. And, there are going to be guys that slump, but the worst thing that you can have is your leadoff hitter in a slump. You really need your leadoff hitter to set the tone at any given point in the matchup, but especially in the first 2 at-bats, because, again, that will trickle over typically to the other players, the 2-hole, the 3-hole, and the 4-hole hitter. Even if you don't end up bringing that guy home and he ends up just getting a single at his first at-bat, it's just a positive thing that can rub off on the other players knowing that your leadoff hitter got it done. Obviously, when we had Ichiro, we know how that went. And down goes Butler for out number 1. Next up is first baseman Nick Kurtz. 0 for 1 with a K for Nick. Let's go, Woo. Bottom of the third inning. Global broadcast on MLB Network. Woo on the mound. Nick Kurtz in the box. First pitch to Kurtz. High and away. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Kurtz. Come on, baby. No, we don't have anybody else. And JP was our leadoff hitter before we got Robles, so it kind of makes sense. The only other guy that you could really put there is probably Julio, and I don't think Julio leading off is really a good idea. Could he do it once in a while? Yeah, you can plug and play Julio in any of the first 6 spots. At any given point. But, if you're punishing him, then you're moving him to like 6 or 7, But again, having him sit in that 2 hole is kind of the perfect spot, 2 or 3 for his type of skill set. So, but again, if we had Victor Robles healthy and he never got hurt, in that Giant series at the beginning of the year, I honestly think we would have 4 or 5 more wins right now, because not only is he a great defender, he's a great hitter too. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is high and outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Kurtz. I mean, technically, they could put, a few guys and try them out. Like you could put Ben Williamson as a leadoff or Cole Young, because those guys are singles hitters typically as well. But obviously JP, already, has done that role for quite a few years and then got demoted to the 9 hole when they, had Robles as the leadoff, and then Robles got hurt. And then JP had to probably have a little bit of an ego punch, a little, shock from being like the guy and then having to go to the 9 hole. But again, he did a pretty good job for the most part. And, we just need him to get back to being hot again. 3-2 pitch. Pitch is low and away, and that is a 7-pitch walk. Come on, Woo. Woo definitely has been a little shaky here today, but you could say the same thing for Logan Gilbert and George Kirby in their last starts as well, and Logan Evans yesterday. Really, the only guy in the starting 5 that has had a good start lately has been Luis Castillo, but we'll see how that goes next time around when he goes against the Rangers. Bottom of the third inning, runners at first with 1 out, 2-1 Athletic lead, and we definitely need the bats to open up or we're going to lose this series. Next up is Brent Rooker, who's 1 for 1 with a solo dinger. First pitch to Rooker, and he swings and grounds out into the double play. Throw to first, got him. Here we go. And I like double plays for Brent Rooker rather than solo dingers. That's great. End of the third inning, 2-1 Athletics. Great defense by the Mariners. And we finally get something to go our way. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning. And will this be the inning where we tie it up 2-2? I hope so. We got the players to do it. Next up, the best catcher in baseball, DHing for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're looking for home run number 42. But I just don't know if you're going to get it with him batting right-handed against Springs. You may have to wait until like the 5th, 6th, 7th inning after they make a pitching change, and then hopefully they bring in a righty, and then he can bat lefty. And and there'll be times where I'll feel it that he'll be able to do it as a righty. But Springs has been pretty decent up to this point, so we'll see where it goes. Batting second, 1 for 1, left fielder Randy Arozarena, who's also is due for a home run. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K. Naylor has gotten a hit in every game so far except yesterday, so hopefully he'll get back to his winning ways. 0 for 1 with a K. Let's try to get a single here, Josh Naylor. Trident's up. Let's go, M. Let him know, baby. Let them know. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. It literally takes 1 second to do, and it'll help our metrics. It'll help the algorithm. It'll help get more people, here in the stream. It'll also lead to more subs, more views, more donations, more shares, and it overall impacts the stream in a positive manner. So again, if you don't feel like donating, you don't feel like chatting, that's totally fine. But at the very, very least, if you can hit that like button, that really does go a long ways. It does make a huge difference for every single stream that you do that for. Top of the fourth inning, 2-1 Athletics. First pitch from Jeffrey Springs to Big Dumper. Sweeper, high and inside, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, high and away with the four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour by Jeffrey Springs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside, and obviously Springs is purposely not pitching anything in the box. Because obviously we know Cal Raleigh, when healthy, just like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, when healthy, pitch it right down the middle, there's a good chance it's going to go bye-bye. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. He literally hasn't pitched 1 pitch in the square in these first 5 pitches. Everything has been inside, high and away, or low and away, or at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Give me 1 pitch in the middle, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I think Seattle can win. I mean, the vibes feel a little bit different compared to yesterday, and it really depends on who we're going to be able to bring in. But again, we should be able to bring in like Brash or Bazardo or Munoz today. So if we end up having some good quality guys in the pen that we can bring in, we want to make sure that we tie this up, before Wu exits if we can. So that way that we can battle it out, 2-2 or a 3-2 lead, going into the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning. 3-2 pitch and a big swing and a miss. And like I mentioned, I got usually pretty good ESP, and I just feel right now with Cal batting right-handed against Springs, you're going to have to wait for a righty to come in and then have him bat left, and that's when you might get home run number 42 for Cal. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, the Arozarena takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And a lot of factors are going to be involved. It's not only pitch count, location, speed of the pitch, and also who's on the mound. And sometimes you got to give respect to that pitcher on the mound, even though we do have one of the top 3 players this year, not named Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and Cal Raleigh, but you still need a good quality pitch to be able to hit, regardless if you're using a torpedo bat or not. I mean, if you're not pitching anything in the middle of the plate, it's going to be tough to be able to get that big home run. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Arozarena. One-two pitch. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. You're overdue, baby. Let's go. Top of the 4th inning, global broadcast on MLB Network. A's up 2-1. 2-2 pitch in play. And Arozarena grounds out to third, throw to first. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 with a K. First baseman Josh Naylor. First pitch from Springs to Naylor. Big swing and a miss, low and away with the sweeper, 75 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And just an observation, since I'm calling pretty much every game beginning to end and seeing every single pitch that's being made, Naylor has got a little bit of the case of the Julios from early in the year where he's swinging kind of wildly, high and away and low and away. We want to make sure, and also inside, be a little bit more patient. And I know that he's an aggressive swinger like he was on the Guardians and the Diamondbacks, but you need to settle in. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike swinging, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And we don't want to have Naylor in 0-2 counts like Julio was in, almost every single at-bat for the first 2 months of the season. Usually it's not going to go well unless you're someone like Ichiro or Tony Gwynn, where you have an 0-2 count and it doesn't faze them. And last time I checked, Julio and Naylor are nowhere near, being like those guys in clutch situations where, 0-2 to Ichiro and, guys of that nature. And, it's usually like a, kind of like a 1-1 or a 2-0. They don't feel the pressure. 1-2 pitch, and down goes Naylor. Be a little bit more patient, my guy. And that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom 4th inning, 2-1 A's. And I don't mind if he swings. It's just, if the pitchers know, like with Julio also, that they can pitch garbage in the first couple pitches, and more than likely Naylor is going to bite, then you can easily get ahead of the count, and that's going to favor the pitcher. And again, Naylor isn't one of those guys that's going to be able to get out of an 0-2 count often, compared to a 2-0 count, 1-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, for example. So we'll see where it goes. But he has hits in every game except yesterday. But again, I just want to be able to see a little bit more patience, and hopefully he'll be able to do that. I mean, he's definitely a talent. We got him, to come in with the trade for a reason, but we just want to maximize his ability. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Athletics in the bottom of the 4th. Next up for the Athletics, 1-for-1 with a run, catcher Shea Langeliers. Batting second, 1-for-1 with an RBI double, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. And batting third in the 6th hole, third baseman, 0-for-1 with a K, Miguel Andujar. Trident's up. Let's go Evans. Come on now. And we're going to need still a couple more home runs, and we still haven't figured out, how to get 3 hits in a row. Or, we have to be able to get a couple walks or a couple guys getting plunked. And if you've noticed something in 2025, we don't really get walked that often, like we used to in previous years. And we don't get hit as often either. Like, we don't have Ty France on the team anymore, who literally got hit by a pitch almost every game. Now, Randy has taken over that role as being the lead guy being hit, and luckily he hasn't had a serious injury yet. But even Randy hasn't been hit by a pitch in quite some time. So, we also need a little bit of help from a pitcher kind of having a meltdown, with hit by pitch and some walks. And then once we get that to happen, then maybe we can bunt a little bit more, and then we can steal bags. But again, if you're not getting guys on, it's hard to be able to advance runners when you can't even get back-to-back hits in a game that often. First pitch from Wu to Langeliers, low and away with the sweeper, 1 count. No, 1-0 count. Let's go, Wu. One-0 pitch, high and away with the sweeper to Shea Langeliers. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Langeliers. Bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Athletic lead. Two-0 pitch, in play, and grounds out to JP, throw to first. Here we go, 1 away. Good defense there by the Mariners. Next up is left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. We need JP to get hot in the box, but most of the time we can rely on his defense. Good job, JP. Yeah, Naylor hit 31 in Cleveland in 2024. Obviously, a member, of the Guardians and then the Diamondbacks and whatnot. But you're not going to see, that every single year. More of a, 18 to 28 home run kind of hitter and whatnot. So still has quite a few to go to be able to hit the 20 mark, but hopefully he'll be able to get that and go above and beyond. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Soderstrom. Come on, baby. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-1 Athletics. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Soderstrom on strikes. I like that, baby. Nice job by Brian Wu. Bringing that electricity. Hasn't been his best start, but again, after giving up the home run to Rooker and that RBI double by Soderstrom that scored Langoliers, he's been pretty good. Again, it's not like we're down 6-1 right now, but again, we need the offense to step up, and that's been another thing. When our pitchers have struggled, Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, they haven't really been able to get a lot of support. And if you get run support, sometimes the pitcher ends up doing a little bit better, feeling that they got, less pressure on them. But lately, we haven't been scoring a whole lot of runs. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Andujar. The last thing that we need is our pitchers to do, well, and then we just can't fucking hit. This isn't 2022 or 2023 or 2024. Excluding just a couple guys like, Dylan Moore, most of the guys can fucking hit. So 2-0 pitch, fouls that one off high and away with a 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Andujar. Come on, baby. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And hopefully Wu will be clean the rest of the way. And then we just need someone to be, stepping up other than Julio. And again, we have these games where Julio Rodriguez plays great and goes 3 for 5 with a home run or 2 or 4 for 5. And then everyone else does absolutely fucking nothing. And it's hard to win games, when you only have like 1 guy out of 9 really playing well. And again, if Julio is going to do his job, we need Cal and Randy and the others to do theirs as well. 2-1 pitch. Oh my, back, see ya. And Miguel Andujar homers to left. Brutal. Oh my. Not the greatest outing here for Brian Wu. Nice job by Miguel Andujar. 3-1 Athletics. Damn. Next up is Carlos Cortez. And like I said, we sometimes have this ability to play down to the competition. But when you play against the Angels and A's, it's not like a for sure win or a for sure series win. Like a lot of times we're going to play right into their hands. And unfortunately, it looks like that's what we're doing. And when we play the Astros and the Rangers, it's like we get up a little bit more for those games, but we should be getting up for the A's and the Angels because, again, they know us through and through. And if you take them for granted, they will fucking make you pay. First pitch from Wu to Cortez, fouls that one off, 0-1 count. Come on, Wu. And that's the most that you can give up. You can't give up any more if we're going to have any chance of coming back. If we end up getting down by 3 or 4 runs, it might be over, just based on how the offense has looked up to this point. Now, once the starter goes out, then eventually we know that the game resets. And we should have a chance for a meltdown by the A's pitcher, at some point in the pen, but not looking good here early. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, 3-1 Athletic lead. Yeah, I do think that Wu Destiny will go all the way. He's like one of the only pitchers that has gone to the 6th inning or longer in every start, unless he ends up giving up another home run or 2. If that happens, then, they may pull him in the 5th. But, based off his pitch count and our bullpen has not been very good lately, so to speak. He's at 53 pitches. Springs is at 64. So, again, we don't have the luxury of pulling him early. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that is another punch out for Wu. But, again, it's either a big punch out or a home run lately. And now we're down by 2. 3-1 Athletic. Now let's go to the top of the 5th inning. And yeah, Wu will go 6, but I doubt that he'll go longer than that. They're not going to have him hit 7 innings. He hasn't really been that great, in this particular game. But also on the flip side, the Athletics have good players. They just need a better pitching staff, a better manager, a better bullpen, even though the bullpen has been pretty good. Mason Miller, the closer, is great. But again, it's like if you're actually looking at the names of their players, Lawrence Butler, good player. Nick Kurtz, amazing rookie who went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs a couple days ago. Might have been the best game in MLB history in like 150 years. Brent Rooker, stud all-star. Even when he DHs, he can get home runs left and right. Shea Langoliers, underrated catcher. Soderstrom led the MLB in home runs at the beginning of the year, early in the season when it first started with him and Polo. So it's like, maybe they could get someone a little bit better than like Cortez or, Hernandez, and also Jacob Wilson, just got hurt with the wrist injury or forearm injury, and he was kind of pacing to be the AL Rookie of the Year. So it's like they got players. They just need a few other guys to fill in the gaps, a few other better pitchers in the starting rotation, a couple guys in the pen, better manager, and then maybe in a few years, the Mariners and the Athletics will be the teams that go to the playoffs. I mean, again, I can't really root for anybody else in the division besides them, but I won't root for them, obviously, when they're playing us. But, they're an underdog, and, it shows you play down to the competition based on their record, which is 47-63. And if you don't take them serious, they will punch you in the mouth. And they have today. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners at the top of the 5th. Please, let's get a fucking run. Stop the bleeding. Let's get it to at least 3-2. All right, we don't need to tie it up 3-3 or take the lead this inning, but we need to start getting a few hits here, back to back to back, or an unexpected home run. Batting second, catcher Mitch Garver, and batting third, Dominic Canzone. Come on, Mariners. And I think we also made a mistake by sending Miles Mastrobuoni down to AAA for Josh Naylor. We should have sent down Dylan Moore if his contract allowed it. If that was something that we had a choice, why would we keep Dylan Moore over Miles Mastrobuoni? Miles can start, and he's our best bench guy all year. So it's like, the Mariners sometimes make good moves, but sometimes they send the wrong guy into AAA. 0-2 pitch, in play, and Polo lines out to third, throw to first, 1 away. But we definitely need a little bit of a lift in the lineup, so hopefully we get Gino tomorrow morning. I'm really hoping so. Next up is Mitch Garver, but we need that boost. And I like Big Ben's defense at third, but, he isn't the greatest hitter. I mean, lately, the reason why we've been losing games is because our starting pitching hasn't been good. And normally we're a top 3, starting pitching staff. Phillies and Dodgers have an amazing, starting 5, but so do we. But again, lately, it's like they've been getting fucked up. And again, it's like if your starter is getting fucked up and then you don't really rely and have trust in your bullpen, and then if the hitting is a little off, it's not really a recipe for wins. 1-0 pitch, and Garver grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, 2 away. You just need some better players, man. And again, that's why it's so important for guys like J.P. Crawford to set the tone so he can carry over to some of the other guys. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. We need a Dom bomb. And again, he is so overdue for a homer. We need one. First pitch, right down the middle, fouled off, 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. And again, also, 49% of our total runs, are home runs. So it's like when we don't get a home run in a game, we lose, like 99.99%. Now, we have one so far, but normally when you notice when the Mariners win and we're cooking, we usually hit like 3-4 home runs. And then we end up getting big RBIs on top of that. But, it's hard to win when you only score 1 to 3 runs. We're not really built to win games that way. We have to get to like 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits typically. And if we don't hit that number, then we're kind of fucked. 0-1 pitch in play, and Canzone flies out to left all the way back to the wall, and that is out number 3. So we've seen deep balls by Dom, Polo, and JP all the way to the wall, but they haven't been able to leave the yard. But we need somebody to step up other than Julio. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-1 A's. And again, if we end up, missing the playoffs and not getting the wild card, we're going to go back and look on how we played against the division. We played pretty well against the Astros and the Rangers, but I don't think we play the Angels and the Athletics very well. These guys kind of have our number, and we typically split where we should be winning 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4, or maybe even sweeping. But again, when you play down to the competition, sometimes this is what happens. I still have faith that we can come back, though. We just need Springs to exit the game. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman Max Schumann. Batting second, shortstop in the 9-hole, Daryl Hernandez. And batting third, center fielder stud, Lawrence Butler. Tridents up, let's go M's. Gonna have to bust out the Mariner Moose already. All right, Moose. I don't know what we need to do here, but again, we need to find a way to build some confidence in a rally. And, we already, played the Astros, right? And then we ended up going into the Angels, and then the Athletics. And then we have a 4-game set at home, thankfully, against the Rangers. So we need to get it going here. You win a game by scoring more than one, Pablo, which I do think that we will. But again, if starting pitching isn't good and then the bullpen is shaky and then you're not hitting, you got to be able to have at least 2 out of 3 clicking. And again, it's like we normally don't have these concerns about our starting pitching staff. It's usually the bullpen, excluding, Brash, Pizzardo, Spire, and Mooney, and everyone else. If they fuck up, like Vargas, we kind of expect it. But again, it's like we need the starting pitching and the hitting to be good. And then when those disappear, hard. 1-1 pitch, in play. Schumann grounds out to third. Big Ben is there, throw to first. 1 away. Next up, in the 9-hole, shortstop, Daryl Hernandez. And again, it's like when we won 9 consecutive series in a row at the beginning of the year, we were averaging about 6 runs a game, for a month and a half. And that's why we were doing so good, right? And then we went from scoring 6 runs a game for a month and a half to scoring about 1 to 3 for a month and a half. And we went on a major slide. So again, there's not really an in-between. It's like either really, really good or it's poor. So hopefully we make some good moves tomorrow because we need it. In play, back. See ya! And Brian Wu not looking good again here today. A big home run by the 9-hole hitter, Hernandez. And when they're 9-hole hitter that never plays, it's a home run, it's not a good day. Nice job by Daryl Hernandez with that big home run. And Brian Wu, what the hell is going on, man? And again, we've seen Wu struggle in the last couple starts. Gilbert struggle. George Kirby had a no-hitter through 5 innings, then gave up, 5 hits in a row for 4 runs. He lost that game. Like, we need someone to be better than just Luis Castillo. Like, again, playing down to the competition. Big home run by Hernandez there. Next up is Lawrence Butler. But again, these are going to be really key series when we look back if we're going to end up making it or not. So. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Butler. Maybe we're losing because of comments like this. Stream doesn't start when you come in, my guy. Bottom of the 5th inning, 4-1 Athletics. Come on, Wu. One pitch, in play, and Butler flies out to left, 2 away. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, first baseman Nick Kurtz. First pitch from Wu to Kurtz, makes a strike swinging low and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, it's playing down to the competition. Like I said, when you go against the teams like the Angels and the A's, and they're not playoff teams, and you're just looking at record alone, regardless if you're betting on games or not, baseball is very unpredictable. But again, I already knew that this was going to be probably harder than playing the Astros or the Rangers. It's like we play up to the competition. Will we lose games against the Rangers and Astros from time to time? Yeah, but it just seems like we get up for those games when we play the good teams. And then when we play bad teams or teams that are mid or average, we don't ever bring our best, performance and our best foot forward for whatever reason. And a lot of, teams go through this as well, not just in MLB, but in all sports. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Kurtz. But also you got to give credit to the Athletics. They have good players. This is a good team with a shitty record. But again, they have quality pieces that I know a lot of people would be salivating if they could have on their team. Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker. Just in those 4 guys alone, that's a pretty strong, and 2 of those guys are fucking rookies, and Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson. So they got something cooking there for the Athletics. 2-2 pitch, and Kurtz strikes out looking. End of the 5th inning, but Wu gives up 4, and hard to win games when you can't, put up even back-to-back hits, and you have to rely on just home runs alone. But we got to get something going here because we're bleeding out. It's like Call of Duty, and there's no medics. You're not respawning. We're bleeding out. Help! Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, Ben Williamson. Batting second, 0 for 2, JP Crawford. Please, for the love of God, buzz or do something positive, JP. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, the only run of the day, Julio Rodriguez. And again, I've mentioned this in past streams, and again, if you just pay attention, but there are going to be times where Julio plays great and no one else does, and then we end up losing. So even if Julio ends up having 2 home runs in a game, it just sucks that sometimes he brings his best foot forward and then everyone else is just falling asleep. Let's go. End of the 5th inning, 4-1 Athletics. Yeah, it's one of those things. Normally the pitching is great, right? And we never have to worry about the starting pitching. Like, this is the first year that the starting pitching hasn't been really great, and we've had injuries, and that's what happens sometimes. You're going to go through these ups and these downs, but, you got to be able to fight through it, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. First pitch from Jeffrey Springs to Ben Williamson, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Springs to Williamson. And starting pitching's been brutal lately. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Springs to Williamson. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. 3-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Now, I wouldn't be betting on baseball, period. You have a better chance of, winning money probably betting with the NBA or the NFL. But, betting on baseball is pretty fucking tough. Ah, nice. Yeah, that's the thing about baseball. You can't just bet on favorites and teams that have the better record and the teams that are better. Because if you just look at, the scores every day, the best teams don't always win. And sometimes you'll look at the scoreboard and you'll end up having most of the good teams losing for whatever reason. 3-2 pitch. And that one is low and at the knees, and that is a walk to Big Ben. Here we go. Is this going to be finally the inning that we get to 2? And no matter how bleak it looks, again, we just need, 1 inning for a little bit of a meltdown that we can catch up. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. You're overdue for a big home run, but the way that, you've been playing lately, we'll just take a fucking single, a double, a base on ball, a walk, a plunk, whatever. First pitch, high and inside from Springs to Crawford, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle from Springs to JP. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. 4-1 Athletic lead. Yeah, well, JP just had a day off a couple days ago, so. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Springs to Crawford, but I'm not going to blame it all, on JP Crawford. But again, when your leadoff hitter isn't doing anything, it definitely, it doesn't set the tone the right way. Like if you go back and look at the games where we were really good, it was usually with those games where JP, has a hit or 2 or 3, and especially getting hits early, to kind of set the tone. So 1-2 pitch, and JP lines out to center, 1 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Runner at first with 1 out, top of the 6th. 4-1 Athletics. Let's go, Julio. I mean, if you got to single-handedly try to get us back in the game and hit another home run, whatever it takes. And again, if he hits a homer here, then it'll be 4-3 with at least Big Ben on base. So we just can't have Julio hitting 2, solo jacks, and that's it. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Now, these are just little things that I noticed, because I pay attention to every single little minor detail on kind of how we play. And there are going to be games where Julio goes off and the rest of the team does as well. But there has been quite a few times, from his rookie season till now, where he goes off and then we don't really have anybody else that produces in the same type of light. You might have a couple guys getting a hit, but not impactful hits that lead to RBIs or home runs. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 4-1 Athletic lead. I still got faith that we can come back, though. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. I mean, really, you just need 1 meltdown by a pitcher, and you can get 1, 2, 3 runs pretty quick. You just have to be able to, find that Uncle Mo and that momentum, and have the right batters in at the right time. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Julio Rodriguez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. And we have at least half of the people in the room that haven't done it yet. So do your boy a solid and hit that like button. And then we're at, 25 on the dono train, 75 to go. Let them know all day. All day doing a great job as the lead mod. Appreciate your hard work. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Springs to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Yeah, I'm not really sure about necessarily benching JP, maybe moving him in the batting order, maybe moving him from 1 to 9, or something of that nature and seeing if we get a different result. I mean, at one point when, Colt Emerson is ready, that will be the guy that probably takes JP's job, but he's just not ready yet. He's still in the farm, And Williamson to second on a balk. Here we go. We finally got a runner in scoring position. It's a miracle. Yeah, and he just had a new baby recently too, and so that definitely is gonna, be a different dynamic for him being a first-time dad as well, for sure, 100%. 3-2 pitch, and down he goes, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners is big dumper Cal Raleigh. Rodriguez strikes out swinging. All right, come on, big dumper. First pitch to Cal, and pops up and flies out to left, and that is out number 3. And if you've noticed also lately, Cal has been way too overly aggressive. He hasn't been working the count at all, in the last few games. And again, I know there's a lot of pressure, to match the 38 home runs at the beginning of the first half of the season, but it seems like he's just kind of rushing a little bit, or anticipating that he's going to get that first pitch strike and he's trying to homer. But again, when you have that type of mentality like Julio did, most of the time that's going to lead, to a bad swing that's off. That's going to lead to a ground out or a pop-up, and you're not even getting a deep hit ball. So, hopefully at some point, we can see Cal work the count. But lately, he's been getting out on like the first couple pitches, and that's not good. We need Cal to step up and work the count. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners down by 3, 4-1 A's. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. DHing stud Brent Rooker. Already has 1 dinger, don't get another. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, catcher Shea Langoliers. And batting third, left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. Trident's up, let's go M. Come on, Mariner Moose, we need some help. But our team is a billion times better when Robles is the leadoff hitter. JP did an okay job for the last few years, but again, he's just not that consistent. He's very streaky. And this has probably been the injury that hurt us the most out of anybody that's been gone. A guy that can play defense, a guy that can hit, a guy that, has good vibes. And again, when you have that piece missing, it really has hurt us quite a bit. First pitch from Wu to Rooker, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees from Wu to Rooker. No balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Athletic lead. Oh, 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Brent Rooker. 0-2 pitch, and Rooker flies out to left field, 1 away. Next up is catcher Shea Langoliers. we're going to play much better, starting tomorrow, against the Rangers. We're going to be back at home, and again, it's like we're going to play a team where we're going to get up for the games, and hopefully we'll be able to produce. First pitch in play, Langoliers lines out to right, 2 away. And realistically, we'll probably split with the Rangers 2-2, but depending on how we do in the first 2 games, if we win those, we might be able to go 3 out of 4, but we'll have to see who sets the tone for the Mariners starting tomorrow. Next up is left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. First pitch from Wu to Soderstrom. Low and away with the changeup, 1-0 count. Come on, Ems. 1-0 pitch, takes the strike looking right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Soderstrom. And also baseball is hard. Basketball and football are much easier. Baseball and hockey, as far as the 4 major sports, to be able to skate and defend, to be able to skate and score and pass, with effectiveness, not easy. And obviously hitting a baseball might be the hardest thing to do in sports. Especially when they have so many pitches coming at you. And then they even have new ones like slurve balls, slider curves that are kind of new to the game within the last couple years. It's not easy defending a baseball or hitting a baseball. So, it's not like any of us could do better than a lot of these professionals. And again, these guys are getting millions of dollars for hitting 2 times out of 10, and obviously if you hit 3 out of 10, you have a 300 batting average. But most guys don't even bat 300. They're batting somewhere between 200 and 290 most. And if you're batting under 2, you're probably going to go to AAA or going to get cut at some point or another. So it's not like you get guys in baseball that are hitting 5 out of 10 and they're batting 500 for the whole year. It's a very difficult, consistent sport to be great at. That's why when you look at guys like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and obviously Cal Raleigh, it's kind of crazy to think how great that these players really are. 2-2 pitch and grounds out to first. Toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. End of the 6th inning, 4-1 A's. All right, we need to start a rally and get at least 1 now. We're down to the last 3 innings. We got to get it done. And again, it also doesn't help that, 48, 49, 50% of our total runs scored this year are home runs. So when we don't get enough home runs, what happens? We lose. And we got 1 so far, but it's only a solo dinger. And it feels like it's been forever since we've hit a 2-run blast, a 3-run jack, or a grand salami. It just seems like when we hit homers, they're not as impactful because they're only solo dingers and we're not able to, get RBIs after that or before that. But maybe it'll change here. Leading off is Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. You're fucking overdue. Let's go. Batting second, first baseman, Josh Naylor. We need a single or a home run out of you, Josh. Let's go. And batting third, another guy that is overdue for a homer, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Come on, Em. It's like if you're only getting 1 guy out of the top 3 in the lineup, Julio that's doing anything, and then you got the bottom 6 doing nothing. Hard to be able to compete, but hopefully that'll change here in the top of the 7th. Gained 4 subs on the stream so far, 1 more to get to 5. And it's been about 5 to 15 subs daily, which is great. 68 more subs to go to 21,300. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes on the stream and 100 on the Dono train. First pitch from Jeffrey Springs. Oh, Springs is out. Now they got Sterner in. The Randy Arozarena. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away to Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sterner to Randy. One pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Dustin Sterner to Randy Arozarena. Also, on the flip side, we're not very good as a team, when we go against left-handed pitching, if you've been paying attention in 2025. Usually, it doesn't really play out really to our favor. We don't have the greatest lineup when we have a lefty pitcher that we have to go against. We do much better when we go against righty pitching, not only starting, but in the pen. Even when they're really good players, it's just like we play much better when we go against righties. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Justin Sterner to Randy Arozarena. Three-one pitch in play. Randy grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Come on, Mariners. You're just like going through the motions right now. Let's go. Who's going to give that spark that we need? We need that electricity, that spark, that belief that somebody can do something positive, and then the next guy can do it as well. Next up is Josh Naylor. Come on, Ems. First pitch from Sterner to Naylor. Low and out the knees, 1-0 count. Yeah, but, again, we don't play really well against the Angels and the Athletics. When we play down to the competition, this is the type of shit that happens. You would think based off record, we should be able to win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4, but that's just not the case, man. It's playing down to the competition, and starting pitching hasn't been good for us lately either. Now, if the starting pitching was good, we would have won more games against the Athletics and the Angels and the Stros, but starting pitching has been a little off lately. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Sterner to Naylor. Yeah, and again, but also too, if you've noticed, we haven't been getting walked, we haven't been getting plunked, we haven't been stealing bags, we haven't been bunting, we haven't been playing small ball. Essentially, starting pitching has gone down the shitter. Bullpen hasn't really been that great either. Even Brash and Mooney have been kind of suspect lately. Bizzardo is the only one we can trust, right? And then, hitting, hasn't been nearly as good as it was, a few weeks back. But again, teams go in these spurts where they're really hot or they're really not. And right now we're getting kind of beat the fuck up. 3-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Sterner to Naylor. Three-two pitch, and here we go, a walk. Now we got finally somebody on board. Let's go. Next up is second baseman Jorge Polanco. Can we please get a polo bomb? Come on now. Somebody needs to step up with a home run to pair up with Julio here. Somebody get a single, a double, a home run, something to give us a little bit of life here. We need to score at least 1 run in this inning. 1 run in the 7th, 1 run in the 8th, and 1 or 2 in the 9th, obviously, if we want to get to that 4 number. First pitch from Sterner to Polo. Takes a strike swinging, 0-1 count. And also on top of that, we have been going against a lot of lefties. And again, when we have lefties, we don't usually play our best ball. Top of the 7th. Here we go, baby. Polo, back. See ya. I told you, baby. Let's go. Sometimes you ask and you shall receive. Jorge Polanco goes yard, baby. 394 feet for all the people that gave up on this team. You got to trust me. I'll tell you when things are going bad, but you also have to have that blind faith. If I say that we have a chance, you have to believe me. And there we go. Jorge Polanco doing what he does best, stepping up in key moments. Nice job, Jorge Polanco. And again, I pay attention to every single time that these guys homer and when the last time they homered. And again, even when it looks like it's going to be bad, you have to have that blind faith that someone will step up. Nice job, Polo. Let's see what we can get from Garb here next. My ESP is going to be on point, baby. Let's go. First pitch to Mitch Garver takes a strike swinging low and away. 0-1 count. And for all of those, bad moods and, this team's terrible. And just like that, with one swing, we're right back in it now. And we have a chance to still win the series. And again, baseball is one of those sports that's really easy to get really up and really down really quick, right? But you have to have that blind faith, that even when things are going terrible, as long as the game is still being played, you have a chance. All it takes is a little bit of a meltdown or a perfect pitch that's hit right on the sweet spot like Polo did, and now we're right back in this game. We took the momentum back. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sterner to Garver. And again, we're not good against left-handed pitching. And then as soon as they bring in a righty, boom, we hit the home run. So again, you just have to pay attention. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sterner to Garver. Let's go, Garv. Trident's up. Let's go, M. Let's go. I honestly think I could manage the team better than what they're doing there, You have to understand, who's going to be contributing and who's not. 2-2 pitch, in play, grounds out to third, throw to first, 2 away. Obviously, if I was in charge, Dylan Moore and Carlos Vargas wouldn't even be on the team, period. Next up is Dominic Canzone, another guy that is way overdue for a home run. And wouldn't this be a beautiful time for Dominic Canzone to get a solo dinger, and then we tie it up 4-4. Now, that would be asking a lot because we just got 2 runs here, so realistically, the inning will probably end. But again, you never know. Sometimes when you get 1 home run in the inning, another, individual might step up, but not all the time. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. And again, I'll have a pretty good feeling if we actually have a chance to come back, or not. And there's going to be games where we're down fucking 9-1 in the 4th inning. Yeah, we're done. We're not coming back. We might be able to get a few more, but in a game like against the Angels or the Athletics, usually it's pretty close. And it's just getting the right person, to be able to take advantage of someone having a weakness. First pitch from Sterner to Canzone, fouls that one off right down the middle, 0-1 count. And also not having access to Miles Mastrobuoni, and having him sent down to AAA for Naylor, that was dumb. When they ended up sending Logan Evans down to AAA when he ended up having one of the best games of the year, and he pitched 8 innings, right? Remember that early in the year, they sent him down. Dumb. I wouldn't have done that. You never send a guy down when he does something great. Again, it's sometimes, the manager and the management team and the GM and the owner will make smart decisions, but it seems like lately a lot of times they don't know what they're doing. And Canzone flies out for out number 3. So we don't get the Dom bomb, but at least we ended up getting 2. And now we're in business, right? We only have a couple innings to go, but now we're only down 1 and we actually have a chance. No guarantees that we tie it up or win, but at least we have the confidence, and at least it makes us feel that we have a chance now. And Butler trying to rob Dom of that home run. They have robbed JP and Dom of big plays here. Wow. What a play by Lawrence Butler. Why can't we rob home runs? Why can't we get those from Randy and Julio? It's the other teams have been doing it to us pretty often lately too, and we can't afford that. Hard enough to hit a fucking home run, let alone getting it fucking robbed. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and let's hold them to nothing. 1 for 2 with a run, an RBI and a K, Miguel Endoar. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder Carlos Cortez. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, second baseman Max Schumann. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We got this, baby. We're back in business. And like I mentioned, it depends on if we're going against a lefty or a righty. When we go against lefty pitching, hard. But as soon as that guy exits, we have a righty, boom, production immediately. So if we would have went against a righty to start the game, we probably wouldn't have been down 4-1. Just saying. Big homer by Polo. It was extremely overdue. We still need JP and Dom to get one as well. And we're still waiting for Cal. right, for home run number 42. But again, if they have a right-handed pitcher and Cal can bat left, he will have a chance, at some point before this game is over to tie it up or take the lead. Let's go, Ems. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-3 Athletics. Gotta have that faith. Believe in the M's. Believe in your boy. Oh, 1 pitch. Back. See ya. You got to be shitting me. Andujar with 2 home runs in a game? Motherfucker. You got to be fucking kidding me. And again, it shows you Brian Wu, struggling, and even when a guy is an all-star, again, you have to understand what's going on. And, another big reason why that it hasn't been pointed out today that we're doing this, right? Who's catching today? Not Cal Raleigh. So Cal is not calling the game, Garver is. And we obviously know Garver is, not a very good, pitch by pitch, play caller. And it shows. We're getting fucked up right now. And if Wu had, Cal Raleigh catching, we're not down 5-3 right now. And Andujar does not hit fucking 2 home runs. And it shows you the importance of having a good catcher. And then if you don't have a good backup catcher, you better get one. And then now Cortez singles to center. And again, you should have already told him Wu shouldn't even have pitched in this particular inning. Like, what were they doing having him pitch when he's already been shitty? Do you want to win this series, or are you trying to just give up? And these are the dumb decisions by Dan Wilson that I'm talking about. If it was me, I would have brought in Bizzardo, and there's no guarantee that Bizzardo wouldn't have given up the home run to Andujar, but highly unlikely. And again, it's like I love that you want to give Wu a chance to keep going. And the bullpen has been a little shaky, and maybe they're a little tired, but Bizzardo hasn't pitched in a couple days. And again, the Mariners have lost us quite a few games, but Dan Wilson specifically has lost us 5 to 10 games by his dumb decisions this year, especially when a guy hasn't been good. Now, if Brian Wu has given up a one-hitter, that's a different story. Keep him in for 7 innings, but when he's been getting fucking rocked for home runs, pull him. Don't have him in the fucking 7th inning, idiot. And now it's going to make it even harder to come back. We can still do it. But again, you got to get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, like I mentioned on every stream. If you don't hit that number, you're probably not going to be able to compete. I mean, they haven't had Bizzardo pitch, and obviously Brash and Munoz have been a little shaky lately, but. And Schumann with a sac bunt to the pitcher, Cortez to second. Athletics got the message. They know what to do, and again, they can find ways to move guys over. And hopefully at some point, the Mariners will do the same. But, Dan Wilson ain't the brightest light bulb of the bunch, if you catch my drift. Next up is Daryl Hernandez. But again, we've seen Wu get fucked up in his last 2 starts. George Kirby had a no-hitter through 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. We lost that game. Logan Gilbert got fucked up in his last start. Literally, Logan Evans got fucked up yesterday. Like, the only pitcher that has done well lately is Castillo, believe it or not. So, it's like you got these great names, but they just haven't been pitching well. And it's not like we can bring Bryce Miller in. He's still fucking hurt. It's like we haven't really experienced bad starting pitching for a long time. And then on top of that, injuries. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. 5-3 Athletic lead. And there definitely is a difference between Garver calling a game and Cal calling a game. It's hard to have your best pitcher in 2025 have Mitch Garver calling the game and thinking you're going to dominate. Huge drop off. Cal calling a game to Garver. It's not even in the same stratosphere. 1-2 pitch, fouled off low and out the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second with 1 out. But again, I would have had Bizzardo come out in the 7th. There was no reason to have Wu go out there. Now, if Wu was only giving up, 1 run and, he's got like 10 Ks and he's wheeling and dealing, so be it. But that obviously wasn't today. He's been getting fucked up left and right. And here's another fucking hit. And again, what is Dan Wilson doing? Like, what are you doing here? Like, they keep getting home runs and hits, and we're in the 7th inning. Like, you understand that this is a 9-inning game, unless, you make it go extras. Like, why are you just, like, giving up? It's like, we still need to win this series. Like, yeah, we got a 4-game set against the Rangers, and that's important. But it's like, Dan Wilson, to me, he waves the white flag too early, and then he just tries to, like, save guys for the next series. But guess what? If we get fucked up early, we're not going to use those bullpen guys against the Rangers if we're down 4-0. So it's like, a lot of times it's speculation. He thinks that he's going to be able to save these bullpen guys later, but sometimes that scenario doesn't come up, especially if we're down. We're only going to bring in our good guys when we're ahead. Sometimes when we're tied, but never when we're down. And here comes Dan Wilson, you fucking idiot. Oh, let me fucking strut out here in the bottom of the 7th after there's runners at 1st and 3rd. You moron. Fucking Wilson. Cal is batted right-handed today, so he's 0 for 3. And, obviously if we have a right-handed pitcher that goes out there as Wu walks off defeated, and as a manager, you have to protect your players, not to get, fucked up so it ends up affecting their mental health. You got to understand when to pull a guy, so that way they don't start bleeding out even more, and then it trickles over to the next start and the next start, But he definitely doesn't understand how to manage this team. He might be slightly better than Service, but not by much, If Service was like a C minus, then fucking Dan Wilson is a C. It definitely, every once in a while he'll make a good move, but for the most part, his decision making with the pitchers and the bullpen is like an F. He's fucking terrible. F's are fucking terrible. Especially when we just climbed back into the game with that big 2-run blast by Polo. The last thing that you needed is to give up another fucking home run. And now you got runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. So, unless we get a double play right up the middle, we're fucked here. And now they're going to bring in Gabe Spire, which you should be bringing in Bizzardo. And Spire is not reliable. He's a popular name. He's the only lefty that we have since we don't really play Sauce, right? Sauce will be in AAA once in a while and on the team once in a while. And we just picked up, obviously, a guy in the pen, from the Pirates and whatnot, but again, that's only going to be situational for Caleb Ferguson. So we'll see if this is the good Gabe Spire. Hold your breath. Next up is Lawrence Butler. First pitch, takes a strike, looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Come on, Gabe. Don't fuck this up here. Gabe Spire on the mound. Lawrence Butler in the box. Runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. We need a slow dribbler right up the middle to J.P. Crawford. A throw to first to get out of this inning. We're already down 2. And now we got to get 1 run in the 8th and 1 in the 9th, unless we can get 2 in the 8th, and then see what happens in the 9th and try to find a way to win this fucking game 6-5 and 10. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off. High and inside. So far, so good here from Gabe. No balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Butler. Now, McCallum ain't going to hit a home run every game. There's going to be games where, the pitcher does the pitcher things. 0-2 pitch and a big swing and a miss, and that's the good Gabe Spire, thank God. Because lately, Gabe is one of those guys that will throw a wild pitch, the runner will score from 3rd, or he'll give up a big home run or a big RBI, and he's one of the better guys like Bizzardo and Brash. But again, lately, Brash, Munoz and Spire have been shaky like our starting pitcher. 2 away. All right, we need 1 more out for Gabe Spire here. Next up is Nick Kurtz. 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. First pitch fouled off, high and inside, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and third and 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, runners at first and third with 2 outs. Athletics 5, Mariners 3. Here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Kurtz. And Hernandez with a stolen bag. Now with runners at second and third with 2 outs. Eugenio Suarez in Seattle, baby! Let's go! Hell yeah! I told y'all. I knew that shit was going to happen. We have a great relationship with the Diamondbacks. That is our number 1 trade partner in the last 5-6 years. And again, this is going to be awesome. We need that. Kurt strikes out swinging. Let's go. Let's go. Gino, let's go. I assume Harry Ford and a few other pieces. Fuck yeah. What are the actual deals here? I got to look it up here. If anyone else has it in the chat and wants to type it in the chat, please do so. And again, I had a feeling it was going to be either today or tomorrow morning. Let's fucking go. It's not only going to help us offensively, but also defensively too. I'm on the Mariner. Here, hold on. I got to go to MLB is probably going to be the only one. I imagine they're going to be posting about it here shortly. But I'm on MLB.com. There's nothing on the Mariners just yet. But I imagine if it just happened, then we're good to go. They just mentioned it on the broadcast for the Mariners and the Athletics. But I'm on MLB, Mariners.com, and there's nothing on there yet. So I imagine they're trying to get a photo, lined up with the post and then going through the details. Let me go to Mariners PR to see if there's anything there. Usually they have good information there as well. I mean, we got Caleb Ferguson, a lefty, Penn, individual, and Jackson Kolar got option to AAA, but still nothing on there either. But I imagine that'll be something that we're going to have come up here shortly. Social media should be blowing up with all that. And then we just want to get into the details of what are we getting. All right, so 40 seconds ago, with Hassan and others, Feinsand, Gino, the top hitter on the trade market, is headed to the Diamondbacks, to the Mariners per source. And they still have to do a medical, obviously a physical, even though he did get hit on the hand and whatnot. So we don't really know the details yet on who it is. And then also it's going to be a medical review. So, obviously he got hit on the hand by the Tigers recently. So again, there were a few teams that were probably going to be out on Gino, but again, that's not going to affect our decision. If Gino needs to sit out for a few games, who cares? As long as he's on the team. And this is great news. This is going to impact us tremendously with Naylor and with Gino at third. That means less playing time for Ben Williamson at third base, but they can always have him DH over guys like Garver. And now we got Cole Young, 1-0 pitch, and Young flies out and lines out to right, 1 away. And obviously Cole was pinch hitting there for Big Ben. Next up is JP Crawford. Let's go, baby. Gino back. And again, regardless if the physical isn't exactly what as long as he doesn't have a broken bone, we should be good to go. I mean, if it's, sore and whatnot, and he has to miss a few games, so be it. But again, you need home run power at first and third, to be one of the better teams in MLB. And those were two positions that lacked home runs for us. And, now with Naylor and Gino there, that should definitely give us a good lift. 1-0 pitch, takes the strike looking. In the zone, 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. But I assume that we gave up Harry Ford and a couple other players. Harry Ford, maybe another positional player and a pitcher. But I assume it was like a 3-for-1, because I assume that they would want to grab some of our farm guys and whatnot. So, and Locklear just got called up, and Luke Raley went to the IL. So, 2-2 pitch. That one's fouled off, low and at the hip. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. Gino is back. Pending physical, though. And Crawford grounds out to second. 2 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. One-0 pitch, low and away with the sweeper from Perkins. 2 balls and no strikes from Perkins to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. I know you already got 1 home run already, but we're going to need something. Two-0 pitch. Fouls that one off low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Perkins to Julio. If you go to Jeff Passan, he's the MLB insider. So you're not going to see a whole lot on MLB.com until they get a photo, which won't be hard to find because he was already on our team. But they're just trying to get the right photo matched up. And obviously it's still pending a physical. And they haven't really released the details on the players that we ended up sending over. But if I had to take a guess, I would assume it will be Harry Ford, who is one of our top guys in the farm, another guy, and then maybe one of the guys in the bullpen, as far as in the farm. So I would assume it was a 3-for-1, but we'll get the details, obviously sooner than later, I hope. And the great thing about Eugenio Suarez, too, pretty good defender at third base. We know Ben Williamson can play defense, but then you get that home run power at third and also just positive vibes. It's like, even when things are a little bleak, you always know that guys like Victor Robles and Eugenio Suarez would always have a big smile on their face, and they would be able to bring out the best, with other guys on the team, whether that's JP or Julio or Cal. This is not only going to impact the team offensively, defensively, but also mentally. This is going to be a big boost for the positive vibes and what he's able to bring. And, at this point, we're going to have 2 of the top 4 power hitters not named Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani this year based off home runs. And again, this might be the thing that gets Cal going and, less pressure on Julio by having Gino come in as well. So I'm definitely excited about that. I thought we would get him. We did. And I knew it was either going to happen late tonight or tomorrow. Still is pending a physical. But even if it shows anything that's not a clean break, if there's a little soreness in the wrist or the hand, as long as it's not broken, we're going to be good to go. If he has to sit on the bench, for a little bit until he gets 100%, just having Gino there in Seattle is going to be big for us. And that could be the difference, between us winning the division or not, getting a wild card or not, making the playoffs or not, or maybe going to the ALDS or not, ALCS, if other teams, shit the bed. And then I don't even want to talk about World Series because I don't think we're on that level yet. But, again, if it's between us, the Astros, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, who knows? I mean, anything could happen. I mean, Aaron Judge already got hurt. If the Tigers or Astros have some more injuries, there is a chance if the Mariners make the playoffs, they can go on a deep run, especially with Gino. back on the team. Now, Bizzardo is in the matchup, who should have already went in the 7th inning. First pitch to Brent Rooker, fouls that one off high and inside, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3, Athletics lead.
Oh my gosh.
1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brent Rooker. Now we just play down to the competition. That's what the Mariners do sometimes. Three-two pitch. That one is fouled off. High and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Rooker. Yeah, it's not Gilbert, Evans, and Locklear, Gregory. Stop clickbaiting. They're not going to trade Logan Gilbert, and they wouldn't give up Logan Evans either. And if we were to give up one Logan, it would be Evans over Gilbert, but Gilbert would not be a part of that deal. He's one of the protected guys that we would never trade. If it's from Jeff Passan, then you're going to know what it is. You know, if you read it on any other website, it's fake news. But it's not like they're going to do Gilbert, Evans, and Locklear. Come on, my guy. 3-2 pitch, fouled off. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Rooker. Three-two pitch, and Rooker with a single to center. Nice hit there by Rooker. Next up is Shea Langoliers. Bottom of the 8th with a runner at first and no out. Athletics up 5-3. We need a punch out and a double play, or a double play and a punch out. Let's go, Bizzardo. First pitch from Edward Bizzardo to Shea Langoliers. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Yeah, but a lot of things going against us in this particular matchup. 0-1 pitch in play. Langoliers flies out to right. 2 away. Yeah, but having Garver catch today, not ideal. Pulling against a lefty starter, and Springs, not ideal. Julio, doing well, but, Polo finally stepped up and, joined the party, but it's just one of those things, it's like when you play down to the competition and you're on the road, shit happens sometimes. That's why I feel like when we play the Angels and the Athletics, it's not a for sure guaranteed win. If anything, it's going to be more of a battle sometimes than even the Astros and the Rangers. We play up for those teams. Angels and Athletics, we play down to their level, and if we play bad, then we get fucked up. First pitch from Bizzardo to Soderstrom, low and away, 1-0 count. Well, Cal's in the batting order as number 3 as the DH, so we'll see where we're at in the lineup after we go to the top of the 9th. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're going to give up Dylan Moore, Mitch Garver, and Donovan Solano and get Dino. It's not like we're getting rid of Dylan Moore, Mitch Garver, and Carlos Vargas. It's like we can't get rid of all our shitty pieces and get Dino. It's not going to work like that. They're going to want to get, quality pieces from our farm. 1-2 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside, and that is strike 3. Boom, got him. There we go. 2 away. Down goes Soderstrom. Next up, a guy that's got 2 home runs here today. Let's not have it be 3. 2 for 3 with 2 jacks, Miguel Andujar. Let's go, Bizzardo. I mean, we still want to have like Montez and Colt Emerson, and there's still some quality pieces and whatnot. But again, I would assume it would be Harry Ford, another good prospect, and then maybe a pitcher or something of that nature. I'm not even sure they would even include one of the regular players, that's on our team. It would probably be like 3 farm guys, I would assume. So we do have like the number 1 farm system. But you never know. Maybe it'll be 2 farm guys and a positional player. Hell, if they want to take Demo or Vargas, good riddance. We don't need those guys. 1-0 pitch, takes the strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Rooker steals second, safe. Yeah, I don't think it'll be 2 pitching prospects in a first base. I mean, it could be. I mean, if they want to give Tyler Locklear up. We just called him up, though, because Rayleigh had an injury. So he's going on the IL. And there is out number 3. At least Bizzardo can fucking pitch. All right, now we got Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, and Josh Naylor here. And we're in the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Mariners to tie this game up. Oh for 3 with a K, batting from the right side. Let's see if he can bat from the left and get something done. Big jumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 1 for 3. Left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run. Base on ball and 2 Ks. We don't want Naylor to go hitless back-to-back games after getting hits in his first 3. Come on, Naylor. We need you. Try this up. Let's go, M's. And this is what's going to make a lot of us happy right now. Gino to the Mariners, pending physical. But again, our number 1 trade partner over the last 5 years has been the Diamondbacks. So once we got Naylor, I figured this Flores deal would happen too. So, and it did. And I mean, when's the last time the Mariners actually got 2 out of the top 5 guys that were available, with the Gino and Naylor? That doesn't happen often, but again, also if we didn't have the number 1 farm, then it doesn't happen. So again, you have to have the farm pieces that will intrigue them. And again, we knew that the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Tigers and the Cubbies were interested. And then the Yankees got Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, so they're out, right? So then it came down to really 3 teams. The Tigers, the Cubs, and the Mariners. And who has the most to give? The Mariners. So it kind of makes sense for him to come home. And, I know he probably built some good relationships with Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, the former Mariner as well. But coming back home, I mean, the crowd is going to love him. I mean, we never stopped loving him. He was like one of those guys, like Ty France went to the Twins, but he's kind of old. But Gino was still in his prime. And I know a lot of us were a little butthurt that, that we didn't have him. But, sometimes you can end up getting a guy to come back. First pitch to Cal Raleigh. And again, flies out to second. Why is Cal Raleigh swinging at the first pitch on every fucking at-bat in the last few games? You're not going to be able to get that pitch to go yard on the first pitch every time. It's like he almost has turned into Julio from March and April. Why are you swinging on the first pitch and flying out? You're hurting the team, Cal. Come on. Work the count a little bit. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And and it's not like, we only need Cal to homer. We need him to single as well. And again, you're not going to do that by swinging on the first pitch on every fucking at-bat. First pitch, fouled off by Randy Arozarena, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. They don't have Mason Miller obviously warming up, so they're confident that they can win this game with Perkins on the mound, which I don't blame them. We haven't been very good today. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Can we get a fucking meltdown, please? by the Athletics pitcher here. Fucking A, let's go. Yeah, but again, if you're going to be getting out, back, see ya! Randy Arozarena with a home run, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. We're back in it, baby. Yeah, but again, if you're going to be swinging, for the fences, work the count like Randy did, on pitch number 4. You already know that, you're going to get some good results out of Eduard Bizardo. But again, if Cal would have been patient, maybe we go back to back right there and tie the game up. But nice job by Randy Arozarena. He got the message. He's like, I'm not going to just swing at the first pitch and get out. You want to make sure you're giving your team a chance. And Randy did. Boom. Let's go. Now we need Josh Naylor to do the same. Or Polo to hit a second home run of the game like Andujar did. Let's go. And I don't mind Cal swinging, for the moon, but take a couple pitches. See what's coming to you. Don't get so eager that you have to swing at that first pitch. Naylor, first pitch. And grounds out to second. And that is brutal. Come on, Naylor. Naylor having the same fucking Julio Rodriguez syndrome as well. Overly aggressive, swinging at the first pitch, 2 away. Just imagine if he could have had Cal work 5 pitches into a count and Naylor with 5 pitches. Maybe we're tied up right now or have the lead. And now we're down to our last out, and we need Jorge Polanco to homer again. That's a big ask. Let's see if we can do it. First pitch to Polo, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. At least we're grinding and battling. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Perkins to Polo. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Perkins to Polo. And I mean, if they would have went with Mason Miller, then it would have been game over more than likely. Eugenio Suarez on the Mariners, pending physical. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 2 outs. We just got a solo blast by Randy Arozarena, homers by Randy, Polo, and Julio. But Brian Wu was terrible today, and normally he's not. And again, if we would have had a good, solid pitching day, we win. And unfortunately, starting pitching has been ass lately by Gilbert, Kirby, and fucking Wu, and Evans. Really, the only guy that's been good lately is Castillo. And who knows what he'll do when he gets his next opportunity against the Rangers. Hopefully it's good. But we're 1 strike away from losing this matchup unless Polo can deliver some magic. 2-2 pitch. And grounds out to first, and that is the game. Final score, Athletics 5, Mariners 4. Nice effort, by Randy Arozarena to get that homer late. So that way we don't lose 5-3, we lose 5-4. But again, Cal and Naylor, being overly aggressive and getting out on the first pitch way too much this game. And if they were able to be patient, maybe we win. And again, not a very good managed game by Dan Wilson, keeping Wu in too long, and that cost us. Wu was not good today. And again, great effort, but at the end of the day, even with the loss, at least we have Gino coming back to the Mariners, so that's one thing that we can get excited about. I'm trying to see if there's any new updates with the deal. I imagine we're going to have to wait until tomorrow morning, and then there'll be some more details unless they release it in the middle of the night on more information on what we gave up to get Gino. Obviously, prospect. Now, if we ended up giving up garbage like we did for Naylor, that would be a best-case scenario, like giving up shitty guys in our farm. But realistically, for a guy that's been one of the top 4 power hitters this year, I imagine it's going to be a pretty big haul. At least 3 players for Gino, but it'll be worth it. Final score, Athletics 5, Mariners 4. And we will be live tomorrow for the matchup. And we're coming back home to T-Mobile. And we're not going to be, obviously, on the road playing the Rangers, which is good. Because if we were on the road playing the Rangers, we probably would get fucked up. And we still might get fucked up. But again, there's only 3 games on tomorrow. Rays and Yankees at 10 a.m., Braves and Reds at 4, and then Rangers and the Mariners at 6:40. So we will be live tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific. And we got Kirby on the mound going against Rocker. Rocker is 4-4 with a 5.73 ERA. Kirby is 5-5 with a 4.50. Last start for Kirby, no hitter through 5 innings. Gave up 5 hits back to back for 4 runs, and then we lost. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And I don't know when we're going to get Gino in the lineup. Obviously, it won't be probably tomorrow. That would be shocking, but maybe in game number 2, if he passes the physical, maybe we see Gino in a Mariner uniform on Friday. So hopefully everything passes with the physical, and Gino will be back, and that's what we need, because right now the bats have been not the greatest, and kind of surprising even we got to 4 today, but we got to be able to figure out a better lineup, and I'm definitely excited to have Gino come back to the Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I don't know where we're at on the likes. How many more likes until we get to 100? Where are we at? Where are we at all day? 82. Man, we fell short today, especially with the amount of people that were in the room. Hopefully the support will be a little bit better. Now we're at 83. We need 17 likes to get to 100. And hopefully it'll be better in the Ranger series. But, when you ended up having like 130, 140, 150 in the room, getting to a bare minimum of 100, it should have been done. So, but I know you gave a great effort all day. It wasn't on you. Sometimes you just got to hope that people will support, and some people will and some people won't. So, but I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better result. And maybe I won't be putting pictures on thumbs for a while, because it seems like it's been a curse since I've been putting them on lately. Maybe more Julio and Cal and Randy on thumbs lately. So final score, Athletics 5, Mariners 4 all day. Great job again. And hopefully we'll get some more people with the likes and the subs and the support moving forward. And I got one question for you. When you talk sports like us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, Trident's up. We got Gino, baby. Something to look forward to. And we'll be live tomorrow for the Mariners and the Rangers. Trident's up. Let's go M. Go M. Trident's up, and I'm out. Bye.